Perfect.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, thank you everyone for tuning in and to listen to me speak. Hopefully you'll find this session interesting. I do quite a few Tableau talks, but it's my first in China, so thank you very much, and I hope you'll find this very interesting. Just a little bit about me, just to begin, so you know who's speaking to you. My name is Toan Huang. I'm from London, England, born and bred, and I've been working in London for the majority of my life and also traveling around Europe as well. I'm a huge, super huge Tableau fan. So I've been using Tableau for 7 to 8 years now. Prior to Tableau, before Tableau, I was using Business Objects, Microsoft BI, and I've done all forms of data work as well. I'm also the founder of Tableau Magic. If you've never heard of the website, it's a site dedicated to tutorials in Tableau. I write the majority of the content myself and have written close to 250 blogs. I believe quite a few of them have been translated into Chinese, so do check them out. This year, I was awarded the title of Tableau Zen Master by Tableau and the community. This was quite a blessing as it came unexpectedly. But the key is because of my contribution, because of the crazy stuff I do, people seem to like my work. So hopefully you'll find this presentation interesting, inspiring. And I'm also the managing partner of my own data agency. So I do have several employees. I deliver data projects from end to end, and Tableau is a huge component of that. And that's going to be one of the main topics of this talk today. Just a quick sample of my work, and you'll see why I'm showing you this in a moment, is that Tableau, as I've heard it described, is a canvas. You can do anything and everything in Tableau. You can build infographics, amazing and interesting data visualization. Tableau is not just about presenting tables or information, it's about inspiring, creating engaging pieces, and helping people see data more effectively. And through different mediums, you can achieve that. However, I always start my talks with a basic story, and then I'll present my solution. So this is something that you might have experienced with yourself. You are using Tableau in your organization. You love it. You want to use more of it. You want to fully explore visual analytics. You don't just want to present data, but you want to show data in a cosmetically, visually appealing manner that helps guide the eye, to help bring out insight and show insight. But this is a key problem, and I see it in a lot of organizations. Your user wants tables. Your user wants to use Tableau to replicate Excel or a spreadsheet application. And therein lies the conflict, because Tableau is one of the market leaders in visual analytics and data. And therefore, it becomes frustrating because you're not using the full power of Tableau. And that is going to be the subject of this talk. I always say that Tableau is a market-leading collaborative platform for data discovery, data visualization, and self-service data analytics. In this talk, I'm going to talk about my 3 stages to get my new clients from data tables to visual insights. And hopefully this will provide you a roadmap in terms of what you can do yourself if you're also experiencing this challenge. If your clients are only saying, we want tables, how do you get them from moving from tables to visual insights? And these are the 3 stages that I also talk to my consultants and my team about. The first stage is to replicate and improve. So if your end users want a table, give it to them. I don't believe that you can force people to change their ways very quickly. It is a process. So when you're starting off with your clients, if they want a table, give it to them, but you can improve upon how it looks. You can add additional elements. For example, you could start to understand why they're using the table and doing some basic automation of analysis. For example, some indicators versus prior year versus prior month. You could start adding insights into your tables themselves. Again, you could format them differently. You could provide them that additional layer. And that is actually very, very important to starting this journey. Ask your end users, what do you use the tables for? If you're looking at trend information, we can present that as an alternative. So it's just about having those discussions, understanding that, yes, you want your data, but what do you do? What are the 5 steps afterwards? And we can potentially automate some of those steps. And that lies in the key. That is a key part of the journey. So you can replicate what your end user wants initially. Then you can start adding some insights by talking to your end users and asking them, what do they want? And potentially, if you find out that all they want is trends, all they want to do is look at data over time, for example, you can slowly wean them away from this and present the actual insights as opposed to presenting the tables. Because a lot of the time, when end users want tables, they want the data so they can manipulate it in a way that allows them to produce an output. However, let's just automate all of that. Let's save your end users time. Let's give them the output that they want. So the first step of my conversation with any end user is, can we replicate it? Yes. Can we understand why you want the tables? Absolutely. Can we automate insights, the trends, the data? That is the first key step. And there's a reason for this. I've seen in my experience that if you force something upon someone, it gets rejected. So what we want to do is we want to increase adoption. That's the first step. Make sure that everyone's happy. Everyone wants to use the tool. And therefore, we remove friction. Some of you might have been in a situation where you know that there's a better way of showing the data, but by pushing it onto your end users, you get pushback. Your end users reject. So let's take them along this journey with us. We want to save time. That's the value add. Let's start simple. We are going to save time through automation. We can improve on basic designs. We all know what Excel and spreadsheet looks like. We can improve upon this. We can actually add a better look and feel. We can actually make our dashboards look visually appealing. But the most important part is when you're starting this process to get a lot of quick wins in there. Say, yes, we can deliver this, and then take them on a journey. But once your foot is through the door, you can start shaping opinions, start showing more of what you can do. But the first step is always just to replicate and improve. Whether or not I'm in a small client with a few users to a large client with thousands, the first step is just to embed, make sure the client's happy, make sure the client is using the tool. Because then we can move on to step 2. Interactivity and curiosity. So now that we have built Tableau dashboards or built outputs in Tableau, tables, it's fine. Now we can start thinking about building some interactive dashboards. This is taken from the Superstore, but we can start showing maps. We can start showing trends. We can have our hero shot at the top of the screen. We can actually show insights to our end users. We can add parameters. But this won't be possible if there's a rejection of the tool. And I've seen this in a lot of organizations. Once we get them on board, once our end users love the tool, once you've seen the power, then we can start moving towards visual analytics. We are always going to have numbers, but what are the trends? What are the insights? If you look at a map, you can see immediately the colors. They attract your eye. Therefore, you want to click on it. If you click on it, the charts also change. If you hover over it, you'll see additional information. If you want to modify your date range, you can do this very easily, very quickly. And this is the wow factor that can get people to start really thinking about, actually, I don't need my tables. I would like to have this application, this tool. What I call data insight applications is that instead of just having the data, you have a way to allow you to easily see trends in the data, to see insights in the data without much training, without much friction. So once you have your customers on board, start building these interactive dashboards. Another aspect is to focus on discovery. So simple truth is that you don't know what you don't know. If you don't know what visual insights or visual analytics looks like, you don't know what to ask for. You don't know what to expect. Therefore, focus on discovery. If you have a Tableau server, start publishing dashboards, start publishing insights. Because when people see it, they will want to actually engage with it. If you have Tableau server, Tableau online, you can what I typically do is post up a lot of samples. I have a collection of over 100 sample dashboards that I've downloaded from Tableau Public or I've built myself. And I will publish this onto the site. Even though it's not entirely work related, people can still see it, still be inspired, and still want to explore the data, still want to click on these things. And therefore, you are driving a culture where people will look at data and they will start wanting charts, graphs, visual analytics. But the key is to provide that mechanism for end users to see it, because they would need to see the change. The same way as if you see a beautiful car, you might want it. If you see a beautiful visualization, that's what you will start demanding. And once the end users start demanding more visual analytics, more charts, more graphs, more forecasts, that's how you slowly move away from tables. And the final step of the second phase of interactivity and curiosity is to focus on self-service. If you have Tableau creator licenses, you can give these to your end users, provide them with training, get them to actually start building for themselves. Because most of the times when your end users start building for themselves, they are not going to build tables. They're going to explore the wide functionality within Tableau. They are going to build maps. They're going to build charts. They're going to explore heat maps, tree maps, all the different types of visualizations. And again, that changes how they view data and how the conversation will change. If you have Tableau server online, you could prepare data sources, data extracts, so that you could allow for ask data or web authoring. So by providing this capability for self-service, you would again drive away the conversation into visual analytics. This is one of the key pillars of how we deliver to our clients, is that we want to enable them. Because once we do, your end users will start building their own visual analytics, and then it will make building interactive dashboards a lot easier, a lot clearer. So for the second stage, the key is increase interactivity with data. You want your end users to start playing with data more and using Tableau to actually highlight amazing trends. You want to move from what happened, which is typically what you see with your huge tables. What you see with data extract is what information is there. We want to move from what to why. Why is this happening? What are the trends behind this? How can we actually prevent and be proactive? We also want to improve organizational curiosity. So the second phase is to actually really push your end users to move from just getting data to asking questions. And that is a really big key and a big winning point. The more questions that they would ask, the better things will be, the more things will move into an amazing direction. So really, bear that in mind. It is a journey. And the first two steps have been getting people on board, getting people use the tool, and giving them what they want. The second phase is to enable people to interact with data, ask questions, improve curiosity, and to start showing the value of visual analytics. Because once you empower the end users, that is what they will go for. That is what they would use. That is what they would love to do. And the final step is exploring visual analytics yourself. So I will share a link to this. This is from the Financial Times of London Style Guide or Visual Analytics Guide. And it shows the different types of insights in a broad category. It's not gospel, however, it's a good basis to work from. So if we think about different types of questions based on your data, whether you're looking at change over time, deviations, correlations, or ranking, underneath shows you the different type of visualizations you can apply. So this gives you a nice basis for exploring visual analytics, how to show certain data in the most appropriate manner. And again, as a guiding point, this is great. This would allow you to see a lot more and to actually play with visual analytics in a safer manner. So this is a very good starting point for best practice. Another thing that you can do is explore the various style guides that have been released within the Tableau community. So the BBC have a huge style guide for how to show information, what type of charts to use. The Financial Times obviously has one. A lot of organizations have released these out. So it's highly recommended that you go in and explore the different type of charts for different types of use cases. So really think about that. What is visual analytics for you, and how can you drive this conversation? How can you standardize? And the worst thing about visual analytics is that if you start using the wrong charts, you might obscure information, or if you use an inappropriate chart type for your data set, it might become confusing and you'll get rejection. We've worked really hard so far getting people on board, getting people to explore data, and now we want to make sure that the charts that they see is best practice. It does make sense. It does highlight the data. It does not hide it. So really think about exploring your own capabilities in terms of visual analytics. And then the next step is to explore visual design. Once your end users start to interact with data, once they start seeing some of the amazing dashboards that have been produced internally, or dashboards from Tableau Public that you've ingested and made available, then it's time to think about designing. There's so many ways you can go with this. I've just finished being a judge for INVIS, and I've explored so many dashboards in the last few weeks. The key behind this is that you have different types of output depending on what you're aiming for. Are we going to have an infographic that just you look at and you just think, wow, what is this? Is that an appropriate way of showing information? This is to be explored. Or potentially something a little bit simpler. Do we go for black backgrounds? Do we go for white backgrounds? How do we actually highlight our colors? Do we have a dashboard like the following or the previous? Do we have long form? Do we have short? How are we delivering our information? Are we embedding? Tableau into our website? Are we going to print these Tableau outputs out? These all have to be taken into account when it comes to design choices. Or are we going to go a little further out of the box? Are we going to produce something that would just make someone go, wow, what is this? Again, we have to explore, experiment. We have to pick our visualization choices to match the criteria. Then we have to pick the container, the delivery device, whether it will be a fancy dashboard, a standard dashboard, something a bit more interactive. We have to make these choices, but the key is that there is no right choice in my world. It's all about who are your end users? What do your end users want to see? How do your end users explore data? And therefore, what works? There is no silver bullet or prescription. There is only trial and error, taking best practice from what you've seen, what you see in the industry, try again, and hopefully get to a very good place. This is my favorite part, and probably what I'm more known for, is that once you've gotten your end users thinking, looking at data in tables, once you have them wanting more analysis, when you have your end users thinking about visual analytics, graphs, charts, and amazing designs like infographics or Tableau advanced dashboards, the question is then, can we push the envelope further? And the answer is yes. There are also advanced visualizations, something that I'm specializing in, and that is to create visualizations that are not normal, that you cannot find in the Show Me More section of Tableau. These are visualizations which serve a singular purpose. It might be perfect for 1% of the use cases out there, but that's the fun of it, is to be able to build this and to know that all of these visualizations can be built in Tableau. Tableau is a canvas. You can explore your own creativity and make anything that you want to make. And that is the key, and that is the real power of the tool, is that from simple tables all the way to advanced visualization, it is all absolutely possible. But the key is to not just push this onto your end users, but take them on a nice and gradual journey. By the way, if you have some free time and you want to explore advanced visualizations in Tableau, check out tableaumagic.com. There's also, I believe, a few groups in China that have translated my tutorials, so do enjoy, do experiment, do explore. However, consult the visual analytics style guide. Make sure that you're building advanced visualizations if you are for the right reasons and the right purpose. So I will leave you with this thought. So the key about this is from going from tables to visual analytics, the main thing is to take your users, your organization on a journey. And that journey has to start with replicate and improve. The key reason is that we can't just force what we want onto our end users. It does not work well. You will get friction, people will push back against you, and adoption would be slower. So try to replicate what they have, improve upon it, automate it, and then slowly inject visual analytics. It could be a trend line, indicators, inject small little things to begin with. Once you have them on board and using, then you can start focusing on interactive dashboards, and the most important part is discovery. Like I said earlier, most people don't know what they don't know. If they've never seen advanced visualizations, they don't know that they want it. So make this available to your end users. Give your end users a way of seeing this. Publish your own dashboards, publish your Makeover Mondays, publish other things that you found on Tableau Public. Publish that all online under a demo site. then they can explore it, they can find it, they can see it. Get them used to actually leveraging advanced and visual analytics. Take them on that journey. And then the final step would be to exploit Tableau. So that's through thinking about how you can actually show information. Sorry, stuff just popped up, but think about how you can show information in the most clear way possible. If you're looking at correlations, what are the possible chart types that would really bring correlations to life? So think about that. Think about advanced analytics, advanced visualization. These are things that you have to think about, and therefore you'll be exploiting Tableau to its fullest through advanced visualizations, through thinking about different chart types. But the key is, and this is what I always lead in with regards to my usage of Tableau, is that Tableau can help you find patterns. Tableau can help you speed up decision making through curiosity, through getting end users to interact with data more. And this, I have seen, especially in the time of COVID in the UK, is helping businesses become far more agile. Instead of, for example, downloading data, spending a day or two churning through and producing your output, we can make answers, or we can get our answers immediately. And that's powerful. And that's where visual analytics really shines. We can show an immediate trend today. A lot of my clients today are leveraging data more than ever before because of COVID, because we can't wait a day or so for analysis to be done. Whereas now we can use Tableau to have visual analytics today, immediately. And that is a real strength, and that is a real selling point for our end users. And with that said, I moved a little quicker than I expected, but this is how you can find me. And if you have any questions, please do ask. And with that said, I have plenty of time. I've just had my morning coffee, so if you have any questions, let me know. Back to you, Faye.
Thank you very much. Okay, so I have read some comments about the translation. I'm so sorry about that because this is the Microsoft PowerPoint free services. So that's why we cannot guarantee the 100% accuracy.
How was it?
Still okay. Acceptable. 对不起啊，大家，我知道，就是说，可能有很多人在讲，就是我们的翻译的问题哈。那么，因为今天的话呢，我们主要用的是Microsoft 它 Power PPT 里面其中的一个免费的服务，所以这样的话呢，我们不敢保证100%的这种翻译的就是这个准确性哈，请大家多担待一下。So, Tuan, are you able to see in the chat window? There are some questions for you, actually.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Would you share the PowerPoint with us after? Yes, Emily, I will. If you want to see the PowerPoint, I'm going to send it to Faye, and she can distribute it across.
Thank you. 好了，那么 yes, please go ahead. No, go ahead.
Another question is, most of our users download cross tables directly from Tableau and analyze it in Excel. That is a common requirement, and I see that a lot. People use Tableau as the data delivery mechanism, so a tool that sits on top of the data warehouse, and they prefer to analyze in Excel. For me, typically what I normally approach my end users is I ask them, what are they doing in Excel, and can we automate that? If they are trying to analyze in Excel and producing insights, can we automate that process to streamline? The other thing is that they could also analyze with tools such as Ask Data or web authoring. There are easier ways to do this, and you could do it within the platform. Another thing to bear in mind is Tableau is also improving its ability for AI automation with explain data and other very interesting things. So I think it is actually quite useful. And also all the analysis you do in Tableau, you could just save it and then keep it in your library, and then that analysis gets refreshed as soon as your data is updated. So that's typically how I try to encourage my end users to move away from Excel, is that you export to Excel each and every time you're running at the same analysis, you have to run that process again. Whereas if you do everything in Tableau, you save it. As soon as you open your workbook, boom, everything happens. Yeah, please.
Yeah, go ahead. No.
Yeah. So another item is that they don't want improvements. I think there are going to be people that want to keep things as they are. But I think the question from our point is, why do they want improvements? And that's very important for us to understand. Typically speaking, if someone tries to sell me an item or try to push an item on me without explaining the benefits, I'm going to say, actually, I don't want it. If I say to you, if you take the following car, you'll get from A to B in half the time. Now I'm interested. If you then tell me that you'll be able to save money by doing this, I'm even more interested. So it's about putting through the kind of reasons to actually adopt Tableau. Because there's many reasons why you should. There's also many reasons why people would use against. But it's about understanding that from your end user. Why don't they want improvements? I think most people do want improvements. The question is the cost associated with that. And therefore, it's about working through with your end users.
我觉得我可以再补充一下哈，就是说我们在之前的第3期故事会邀请过另外的一个 Tableau Zen Master， 他是 Alex。那么 Alex 老师的话呢，当时他做了一个 presentation， 是如何建立一个有生命力的仪表板。那么在那个里面的话呢，他把就是说仪表板的一些内容，一些重要的内容的话呢，就是说要把它放在仪表板里面的重要内容的话呢，全部都包括了。那么还有就是说他讲了一些就是如何去改变人们的思想。我觉得对于我们来说，就是说我们来宣导数据文化呢，我们先要了解，那么用户他们想用的，他们希望看到的仪表板是什么东西，那么他们希望从数据里面找到什么，那么从这个方面的话呢去了解，我觉得可能会比较方便的，然后去转换一下他们的想法。So Tuan, I have another question. This is this customer. Oh, sorry. So this attendee asked in Chinese. I did a Google direct translation. I hope it's correct. So the question is, we provide a BI service to customer. As mentioned earlier, we can create exploring visuals on the Tableau server, but based on the project itself, it's maybe an extra effort. So how to balance the real project delivery and exploring visual?
Yeah, I think that's always a part of the challenge, is that when we're working on projects, the end user wants stuff here and now. I think the key is to always factor that into the adoption plan. Tableau does have a Tableau Blueprint, which goes through the ways to get adoption happening. So I would encourage you to look at that. I think the key with Tableau, it's not about download, buy a tool, and it's immediately successful. It's about putting across the infrastructure, the training, the necessary items to make the organization as a whole successful in the data analytics journey. So what I'll say is that when you engage projects, always allocate time to building a culture of data, because that would improve the adoptability of Tableau, for say.
Yeah, thank you very much for advocating the data culture. This is the main point or the main reason that I've created this Tableau this webinar, Data Society webinar. So 我是想加一句，就是说刚才大师的话呢讲到 Tableau 的一个 blueprint， 那么这个 blueprint 的话呢，其实就是帮助公司去建立，还有就是去建立数据文化的一个葵花宝典，我可以这样去说。那么那个里面的话呢，它包含了很多就是数据 建立数据文化的重要性。我建议如果说是有兴趣的话呢，您可以去 Tableau 的网站上面去搜索一下 Tableau Blueprint， 那个的话是一个非常非常好的一个文章。Okay, so we have we have 2 more questions coming in. So from Emily Lin, may I ask you a question about Tableau and other BI product like Power BI, because Tableau seems like more about data description.
Okay, so that's a very interesting question, and I would always answer this quite honestly. And the key to think about in terms of products on the market is that we are in a very lucky age where we have more products than ever before. So we have products aiming for different markets, different segments, different use cases. So when you think about BI products, it's about what are you trying to achieve, what current infrastructure do you have, and what fits your purpose, your cost, your timescales. There's a lot of questions, and different products are slightly better in different ways. In terms of Tableau, I personally believe that Tableau is today the best self-service tool on the planet for data and analytics and visual analytics.
Thank you.
And I say this as I am also a Power BI architect. So I actually am heavily strong in Microsoft Stack as well. But I'll say that Microsoft has its advantages, Looker has its advantages, but if you want end users to adopt data visualization, self-service, then Tableau is by far the strongest tool on the planet because onboarding is very easy. I believe that you can give Tableau to anyone, from marketing to execs, and they can build data visualizations immediately. With certain tools like, for example, Looker, you have to learn some query language. With Power BI, you have to learn DAX. And if you've never used DAX before, it's quite an experience. And I'll never want end users to use it. However, there are pros and cons. But the key is that there's a lot of products out there. My advice is to make sure you're aware of all of them. The Gartner Magic Quadrant is always a good place to give you a good overview. But for now, for at least the next 2 to 5 years, Tableau is the leader. And as the world is becoming more data, I would say, hungry, Tableau is right now the best tool for enabling people to visualize the data very quickly and in a safe and secure manner. I hope that answers the question-ish.
I believe you did. Okay, so I have another question. What do you think? Oh, okay. Oh, Emily just replied. Thank you. So I have another question. What do you think that more and more people, I believe, more and more people design everything in Tableau by creating the polygons? And will this type of chart could be well adopted in business?
I think this is going to sound very bad, but I think it's a generational thing. Now, I think if you look at kind of different generations have different requirements. Some generations still want reports to be printed out in big sheets of paper. Some people rather not. I think as we move on within the next decade, I believe that more people would be more used to advanced visualization. They'll be able to understand them a lot quicker, and therefore it will be more in demand. That's my personal opinion. Is that it's like most things. If you think about television, we started off with a few channels. Now we have thousands of channels. We also have color. We have high definition. Things change and people adopt. And I think as new generations come in, as new generations join the workforce, for example, my nephew is 5 years old and he knows how to use an iPad better than my grandparents. But when that 5-year-old kid becomes 20, he would have grown up with technology, advanced gaming, advanced graphics, advanced visualization. Therefore, the advanced polygon style data vises will become second nature to them, and they would adopt it a lot easier than the previous generations, who are more used to just bar charts and trends. I've actually got a whole podcast planned to talk about this. I'm calling it the new normal. Is that go back 10 years, it was all about tables and data. Then we started moving to bar charts and trend lines. And I think the next phase will be advanced visualization, because I just think as a race, as a species, we are becoming more data proficient. We are used to seeing amazing data visualization, and that will become a part of the new normal.
Mm-hmm. And actually, we are planning to have another session with Tuan on the advanced visualization，就是跟大家讲一下我们可能还会再有一个跟他还再有一个，就是说有一个 session 会讲到 advanced visualization。Okay, so there's another question. How well placed your fascinating bespoke visualization or chart into the real business scenario?
So that is a very good question. I think it's about picking. It's not about embedding for the sake of embedding, because that doesn't work, and that is a bit dangerous. Just to say, I want to use this chart, so I'm going to put it in. That doesn't seem to work in my mind. What really works is to find a visualization that would really show the data off. A simple example is a Sankey diagram. It's a very advanced visualization. It's a flow chart. And the key is why it would fit in is that if you look at marketing, where you have your marketing channels, where you have your number of customers that hit your website, how many of them actually purchased, how many of them dropped off. So you have this kind of network flow chart, and a Sankey is perfect for displaying that. So I think it's about finding the perfect visualization for your business, as opposed to saying, I have this cool visualization type, I need to use it. It's about saying, I can do it, I can use it for fun, but it's about thinking about what the business would see, how you can display information in the best way for them, and get them really excited.
Okay, so one more question. How's the speed? Let me see if I'm missing anything. Okay. Okay, so what do you think that more and more? Oh, we have covered this question. So how's the speed for Tableau to connect with R or Python for machine learning purpose?
So I think it depends on a few things. I think it more depends on Python and R as opposed to Tableau. So the way it currently works is that you can create calculations in Tableau, which passes data into R and Python for calculations and then to return a result. I think it very much depends on how much information you pass across. What's the level of aggregations? For example, if you're passing across 2 million records for calculations, that's going to take time. You're passing a lot of information. If you're passing 20 records or 30, 50 records to Python and R and then bringing it back, I think that's a lot more effective. So it really depends on how you manage your data volumes, and also what's the quality of your Python or R script. Are you performing effective calculations there? I do see integrations with Python and R becoming more common. Another thing that I do see is integrating R and Python into your Tableau prep flows. So instead of calculating in real time, which can be unpredictable, you calculate your data set in the ETL layer. So when you're moving data across, you do all your calculations there on a nightly basis, and then all the numbers are available. Because in real time, if I'm clicking on 5 different filters and then passing the information across to a different system, the behavior is slightly unpredictable.
Okay, thank you. 还有其他的人要问，还有其他的听众要问问题吗？我们要不要再给10秒钟？1、5、4、3、2、1。如果没有的话，我们我们今天要结束咯。Oh, okay. So there's one more. Oh, somebody says, "I love you. I love you, Tuan." 谢
I
谢
love you
你。
too.
I love your voice. OK， 谢谢你给这个评价哈。然后呢，就是还有一个问题是， what do you see the data visualization trend in the future? Thank you. Thanks.
So what is the trend in the future?
Yeah. Yes, data visualization trend in the future.
So there's a few things that I see, and this is nothing to do with Tableau, it's just personally. I see a lot more of data visualization automation, because I think that would be very interesting. So therefore, instead of us actually building dashboards, building these amazing things, what would we focus on is the data pipeline. So we would feed data into this machine, and then the machine itself would present all the information in the most effective, clean way possible. So I think that automation would be amazing. It is coming. A lot of platforms are focusing on automated insights, and I think Tableau will be very much a leader in that. So I think that is going to be the big trend. I do see, as I said before, more advanced visualizations, but in 5 to 10 years, I think that companies will be available that would build insights for us. You'll feed it your data, your sales data, and then it will present you with 20 dashboards to cover different aspects, different insights. And then it's our job to read through the insights and make business decisions.
Okay, so 2 more questions. Three more actually. Hold on. So how Tableau Dashboard Builder career will be in the future?
This is a very interesting question because I have a team of Tableau developers. I think things have changed a lot in the last 15 to 20 years. So when I started my career 20 years ago, we had report factories. We had a few analysts that would sit with the clients, define the specifications, and then we would send those specifications to our offshore companies in India. They will build. It'll go backward and forth. I think slowly, as we move towards self-service, more people are becoming good at building dashboards. So I think a career as a dashboard builder is slowly going to wind down. It's because right now, if you look at competitions like InViz, or if you look at the Tableau public community, you have people who are part-time hobbyists that can build amazing dashboards. And therefore, I think from a Tableau career perspective, focusing on the data pipeline, data quality, how to build a culture of data, how to manage your servers, those are the things that will always be a part of your career. And the idea, and this is what I do today, I don't actually build many dashboards for clients. I will build some POCs. That's why I build so much stuff on Tableau Public, because that's the only time I get to build. My job is mainly data infrastructure, proof of concepts for POCs. But so I'll build a proof of concept. So this is how we can build A, B, or C. But I will focus more on the data pipeline. How do you get data going to your end users? How do I make sure that it's safe, it's secure, it's governed, that it's performant? How do I make sure that the Tableau server is running effectively, that it doesn't crash? So those are the key skills for managing the entire infrastructure. At the same time, how do we teach people how to build dashboards? Because we are moving into a world now where everyone is becoming more information hungry. Everyone wants information now. I can't satisfy everyone, but I can teach them. So the old saying that if you teach a person to fish, they'll never go hungry, that's going to be the job for Tableau professionals moving forward, that we're going to be teaching people, providing them with the tools, and then providing support.
All right. So the next question was typing in Chinese. How is the storytelling of visualization reflected? And the dashboard looks more focused on execution. Yeah.
Sorry, what was the question?
Yeah, I think the Google translation thing. Okay, so how is the storytelling of the visualization reflected?
Okay, so
there are 2 questions actually.
Okay, so just to quickly talk about storytelling in dashboards, I'm guessing. I
Uh-huh.
think the key behind this is to think about the flow of information. I would say look at your dashboard as if it's a movie. There's got to be an introduction, a middle, and an ending. And it's about all three pieces being consistent with each other. So when you're looking at a story, what is your story exactly? Is it a horror movie, i.e. your business is going to crash? Is it a love story, as in this merger between two companies is going to go well? It's about finding the information, the different story points, and then pushing that forward.
Okay, so I think I finally understand what's the question meaning. Uh, so for the data visualization, there will be storytelling, and then there will be dashboard. So seems there are a lot of there's a lot of factors cannot be focused, and how to make a dashboard can be more focused, and then so the audience can have the can take the right action on it.
Yeah. I think the key is that so in terms of creating effective dashboards, Tableau has a few good white papers on this. But my typical trend is to, one, not overload your dashboard. So keep your dashboard messaging very clean, very clear. A lot of people throw a lot of information into a single dashboard, whereas you can split it into 5 different dashboards, with each dashboard showing an individual purpose. The second thing is to leverage colors, leverage sizes. Where do you position the most important information is what you want people to look at first. So in the UK, for example, my eye goes from left to right, top to bottom. So the most important information in the top left. In different cultures, it will be slightly different, but it's about understanding how people view information. Also, the color scheme. So, for example, if there's too much color, then the color means nothing. If you have very light colors and then a big red dot, that would stand out. So it's about creating those moments. It's about making sure that if there's something that needs attention, that item itself stands out very clearly. And that's how you create effective dashboards which tell stories, which shows insight, and give the aha moment. Simple example, if you open up a dashboard and there's loads of green, loads of red, there's no aha, it's just a mass of color. Whereas if you open up a dashboard and if it's okay, it's just light gray, so you barely see it. But if it's bad, it's red. Then all I'm seeing is the red dots where I need to see them. So it's about controlling that experience.
All right. Okay. So I think this is the last question. Any other relative skills is essential for builders to learn? So I think the builders meaning
Tableau builders.
Tableau, not maybe Tableau creators.
Yeah.
Is it? Yeah.
So I think there's two parts. If you're looking at building Tableau dashboards, I think one of the key aspects is obviously design. So pick up some skills in design, experiment with design. That's definitely one thing. Another aspect that I can't emphasize enough is an understanding of data. So skills like SQL is definite. To really learn how to query your data sources, to understand a bit more about data is also imperative. Because once you have a dashboard that's not performing, you're going to have to look at databases. So I think a big skill is databases that's missing. So I would really focus on that.
Okay. So it's not about Tableau creator. It's actually developer.
Developer as in
Yeah. As in
APIs and stuff? Because if that's the case, so we're thinking about, yeah.
I'm sorry. So for example, is typing. Yeah. Design?
Yeah,
Developer
I think
design? Yeah.
design is a very interesting one because design itself is very subjective. And what I typically say is just to experiment. There are some basic fundamentals, for example, how you use colors, how you use movements, animation. So you can explore that. But for now, I don't believe there are many courses on Tableau design out there.
Mhm.
In terms of analytic skills, Python is good for data in general. So I'm just reading the comments that pop up as well.
Yes,
So
yes, correct.
I think, so from design perspective, I think it's about experimentation and just continually evolving because it's very subjective. It's like, how do you learn to be an artist? You know, you could visit museums, you can practice, learn new techniques, but for the most part, it's about practice. In terms of hard skills like SQL is definite. Python, yes, is very big in the data science space at the moment. So if you could dedicate time to Python, that would be great. I think also just understanding the nuts and bolts, like infrastructure. What does it mean to be a server? What does cloud versus on-premise? What are the differences? Because as I said, more and more, Tableau development will become Tableau administration, Tableau infrastructure, performance optimization. That is going to be a very big skill set in the future.
Mhm.
In terms of ETL tools, Tableau Prep now can write to a database as of 2020.3. So Tableau Prep is I'm pretty happy with it. So I think that this is actually all pretty good for now. So that's an ETL tool. And again, there's so much we can go into this. So for example, from learning databases, there's a whole world of that. So I hope that answers the question.
I believe you do. I believe you did. 因为我们讲的就是 Tableau 的那个故事会嘛，这个故事会的话是 Tableau 的，所以就是说也不会讲到其他的那个软件。对，嗯，OK，Yeah，还有问题吗？如果有问题的话，大家还可以继续问。I don't think we have questions coming.
Okay, brilliant.
So shall we end the session?
Yeah.
Do you want to show off your Chinese? Showcase your Chinese?
Oh no, that would be embarrassing.
Okay, I hope you will be learning a few sentences for the next sharing session.
Definitely.
Yeah. 那这样的话呢，就感谢大家的参会周末愉快，谢谢你们。Thank you, Tuan.
Well, thank you for having me, and hopefully I'll get a chance to speak to you all soon.
Yes, definitely. Yep. Okay. 谢谢。拜拜。Thank you.
Bye bye,
Bye.
everyone.
Bye.